Well, I think everybody's there, and well, I'm sorry, no one's there, but I gotta test to make sure this is working. All right, looks good. All right, once again, welcome to the stream. Maybe if it starts. Anyway, this is part 2 of a 2003 set. The first half of the set included photos taken around a lot of night photos around my old apartment in Baltimore. The second set is going to be a Thanksgiving outing to the SMS Lines switching operation in the Penn Warner Industrial Park in Morrisville, Pennsylvania. SMS is, as of 2020, is still doing their thing. I don't know. People say it doesn't stand for anything or its initials, but I always call it the Switching Management Service because that's what they do. It's exactly what it says on the tin. And if you have something that works, why be contrary? So, anyway, today we are going to be continuing with part 2. And like I said, I previously did a bunch of I did some SMS photos. From a set in 2004, I believe, or 5. Yeah, it would have been 2005 actually, not 2004. And in 2005, they had changed out their equipment for a different unit, which I think was an S8. Let's see here. I'm just waiting for some people to get here. If it'll open, there it is. Yeah, it was an S. Okay, so I guess it was an S12. I don't know why I thought there was a 750 horsepower unit there. But in 2005, you had number 301, which is a Baldwin S12, sort of the later model of that. Let's just see here. This was sort of their last gasp of, wait a minute, or the way we are numbering things isn't really catching on. So this replaced, or necessarily this didn't replace, but this was after the DS-4-4-1000, which was made between 1946 and 1948. Yeah, that's what changed between my two visits. I got cab rides both times, thanks to us, my host at the time, knowing the engineer there. Unfortunately, that engineer passed away a couple years after my 2005 visit. But I will save that for the story. But like I said, I was just giving people some chance to log on. But anyway. Let's get going so this doesn't last too long. So like I said, so here we have a slightly less painted number 302. Note the plastic garbage bags taped over the radiator. This had some issues with cold starting, so during the winter they would tape up the radiator to keep it warm. This is at the locate now for those of you who don't know, the Penn Warner Industrial Park so there's, if you go to a Google map, we'll switch. Yeah, so there's your Trenton, there's your Morrisville yard, there's your NEC, and if we go to the Wikimapia view, there's the Penn Warner Industrial Park, there's Morrisville yard, there's the whole U.S. Steel, ex-U.S. Steel plant. They're the lakes that they dug out to fill in this zone. So if we go to the railroad view, you can see the web of tracks. That's all operated by SMS, and they have an interchange track up here at the Morrisville yard. So this just gives you a little hint of where everything is. So we're going to be starting here, a little bit north of the Kmart distribution facility, because that's seeing a lot of big business these days. That's where their yard offices and stuff were, and that's still where they park their engine, but they've moved the yard offices over there. Probably because it looks like they put in a transloading, sort of a loading dock at the end of the spur that used to go to the Kmart distribution facility. So anyway, I should have the original photo. Let's see what I have here. I should have the original pictures here. They seem to be out of order, but I'm probably using a lot of the original names or file names. If I can find them. There it is. But I'm just gonna, as you can see, I'm gonna be making them a bit better. If you couldn't tell, SMS Lines is run by a Reading Railroad fan. Almost got the wrong aspect ratio there. There we go. Also know that, well, I'll get in that later. There we go. Shoot. And I remember when we got there because my friend was kept in touch with these guys, and they would basically, they didn't work. The engineer, I think I mentioned this in the last thing. He retired. He wanted to get a railroad job. He got a job with CSX. He worked 39 consecutive 12-hour days. He quit, got a job with SMS, and he was working pretty much around, I think, 14 hours a week or so. And so they didn't work every day. But Bob sort of knew when they did work. So we get down, my friends. So we would go down there, and they didn't have a ton they had a little bit to do today. There was one of those. I think they were there. They didn't have a lot to do, but they still went out. Probably a lot for our benefit. But when they started up the number 302 there, I think I have a picture of it. They did note that despite its age and the plastic wrap, it started up on the first crank. So there you go. This is a legit PR. It has the original PRR number there too. And that was used as the yard office, and it probably still is. They also have this other, like N11. I remember these. These were also used by the PRSL in the later years. Right before caboose like this were made completely redundant. Oops. So you're seeing it's Penn, Jersey. That was simply the doing business as name for SMS Lines in Pennsylvania. I think they have different, just with regulations and stuff, they have different business units. And this was also a Penn Central Conrail caboose. I'm not entirely sure which one is there today. Of course, the Alco, the Baldwin DS-4-4-1000s were on the AAR Type A switching trucks with friction bearings, I might add. This actually became a bit of a problem because most railroads will not, despite the fact that there really isn't a problem, they are absolutely allergic to moving anything with friction bearings. They just think that it's going to go 5 feet and have a hot box, and oh my God, the sky is falling. They don't have to. It's a AR. It's one of those things. If they sort of phased out friction bearings back in like 1987 or 92, something newer than you think, but later than they said. So anyway, they had this 302 sort of stuck here in Penn Warner, and I don't know how they got it out there, but usually I think they either have to jack it up, put it on freight trucks, or put it on different trucks, or literally truck it, or something. It might have been every so often. It's one of those. I get the story a lot where if they need to have these things moved, some of the times the railroad won't notice. Some of the times they do, as in you call, like sometimes it's like, oh, you want to move this thing, and in theory the railroad should ask ahead of time or no, but sometimes they'll arrange transport, and it gets shown up to be picked up, and it's fine, and it just gets moved, and no one cares. Other times they'll get accepted for transport, and then the train shows up, and someone in the crew will like call it out, and then call back home, and then there's a problem. I don't know how they ultimately got 302 back to South Jersey, but they just I just didn't think they really liked having it stuck out here in the no man's land. I also don't know if they ever fixed it. The Baldwins had either 6 or 8 cylinder engines, using absolutely massive cylinders running at a max RPM of something like 600. These were really low-speed Baldwins. Their whole range was low-speed lugging, with very, very robust Westinghouse electrics. You could the amp meter could spin around a couple times and you wouldn't do any damage. I believe they are all turbocharged, unlike the EMDs. But getting 1,000 horsepower out of an 8-cylinder usually requires a bit of turbocharging. I can see what this says on the thing. No, it's naturally aspirated, so I guess it wasn't. Some of them were turbocharged. I guess this one wasn't. Oops. I don't really need that one. I don't really need that one. Okay. Don't know what this is. Not sure if that's a legit Reading caboose, though. Doesn't seem to be a proper color either, but it's labeled Reading. 9292857. Don't really have much to say on that. So yeah, they just, just like a lot of short switching things, it just gets parked overnight and they come and get it going when needed. There it is. I've been hearing that end cabs, like if people were wondering why, I heard, so if you noticed, most of the Class 1s have recently had, it seems like have sold off all their end cab switchers. Apparently it's not some weird conspiracy or regulation. It's just that end cab switchers have the value of them has gone up dramatically. So and Class 1s can just use yard slugs. Or all sorts of their surplus 4-axle power, as they also are trying to get rid of as much of the switching operations as they possibly can. Another interesting thing was just if you ever get in the cabs, even these switchers, they are definitely designed for the larger crew sizes of the day. So in addition to the engineer, you had this little bench seat. I think there was enough seating for 4 or 5 in the cab. Yeah, quite roomy. Oops. Here we just have a nice view. This would be the fireman's side view here. Let's see what I can do with framing this properly. There you go. I'm going to change that name. This is where I have to go, and one second. I'm going to just get 1 second. SMS Lines roster. Just want to get with the oh damn, come on. Somewhere I have the thing. I want to get the name off the 301. Shoot, number 301 has the guy's name on it, and I'm gonna. Oh, here it is. 301. Yeah, that's the one. I just gotta find a picture so I can get the name off of it. It came up the first. It was like the first thing the last time. Oh, the one they have there is the 750 horsepower. Here it is. Yeah, the Ed Weller. That's who it is. Okay, great. So the guy's name is Ed Weller, and there he is with the conductor that day. They're just getting stuff ready, getting to doing. If you ever watch the starting a locomotive videos, they're doing that. It's not helpful. I don't know if they had to do the whole open the cylinder cocks and do a dry pump and do a dry turn to get any condensation out. I don't know why that's a thing on EMDs. So yeah, unfortunately, like I said, a few years after my 2005 visit, he suffered some sort of stroke or heart attack that kind of stunk. How am I gonna get this thing straight? I don't know. I'm gonna drop this picture the last time. All right, there we go. First batch is done. see who's around. Hey there, person. Hope you're enjoying the show here. Don't have a ton of people around, but thanks for coming in. Glad to see another South Jersey person watching the show. So yes, even though SMS Lines is a South Jersey institution, I am actually over in Pennsylvania. I don't know what the deal is with SMS Lines these days. It used to be like they were super railfan friendly, and then they started doing chemical transloading, and that caused a lot of it. Like a lot of their because they were doing stuff, they had to have like a higher baseline level of security to be able to do that. So then it was sort of harder to get in there and take pictures. So I don't know what the deal is at SMS Lines these days. I think it's gotten a little bit better. Here we just have our cab bulkhead switches. It's even compared to a modern thing with a lot of computer controls. It's great just how little there is. Look, there's a push to reset, whatever that resets. You got to push to start. That's a high-end luxury. You see that in high-end luxury cars today. Heater, a light, an auxiliary generator, something else, turbo oil. But despite the things being rated as naturally aspirated, not sure why they have stuff for turbo oil there. Well, I'll get over to those in a second, I think. But anyway, it's just interesting of how simple this stuff is. There we go. Oops. And here we have our control stand. I don't know how much of this is going to be original. It's that looks way too 70s there, but I think a lot of that is original. And then we have up here battery charging, turbo water, turbo oil, even though in theory this doesn't have a turbo. And of course your amp meter. 1500 is usually what all of these things are rated for, but I've heard that that these Westinghouse units, that the Baldwins in particular, could take a bit more load than some of the contemporaries. My camera did not have a very high dynamic range. Also didn't have a very wide lens. Oh, one of those things that I've noticed as I got when I cycle between I always use mid-range digital cameras with that they always go by the X zoom rating, like 10x zoom, 30x zoom, and I went from like 10 to 30. The zoom didn't seem to be all that more, but what they had done was that the unzoom, that the lens was just had a much at the lowest zoom was just a much wider lens than my first one. So it wasn't starting at the same point and zooming out further. It had more of a fisheye effect at the low end, which was nice. As you can see, I can't get a lot of room in the cab, and this is the widest I could possibly do at the time, which isn't that wide at all. It's like minimally wide. Okay. Oh, this is unrotated. So this is a 608 NA diesel. Okay, just checking something real quick. Okay, so this just looks like the would have been the turbo end, but I'm not sure what kind of end. But I don't think it has a turbo. I think it's just like the starting controls. Shoot. Through two, we got the 608 NA. Here we have our cylinders. Should have gotten better engine shots of these, but I didn't. And here we have the generator. What you can see of it there. Wouldn't be surprised if SMS winds up as the last Alco Baldwin operator. They've literally purchased engines from museums to either put back into service or use as spare parts. So they've got a commitment. Here we have 302. Now, at some point I know that I was trying to take a picture of it starting. I don't know if I was successful. Oh, that's right. Is the so this is pre-start. Oops. Maybe did I junk that photo? Huh. Yeah, there you go. Find something new every day. So it looks like here I took a photo immediately before the engine got started up. Just checking in case I gotta do renaming. Okay. I'm not happy with how I was doing that brightness enhance. There we go. It's a bit better. I don't need to see those clouds in the background. And here we have it right after its first start. So in the last one, I knew it wasn't started because the flap doodle over the exhaust was down. And here, I have it immediately after because they want us to get out to take a picture of it starting up. I think they actually said that you get a little puff of smoke. It wasn't even that much smoke. I mean, you think, oh, 50-plus-year-old Baldwin, it's gonna smoke like dick, whatever. But it started right up first time. Really impressive. They take good care of them there at SMS. Yeah, I can't overexpose that. And here we just have a picture of it running. Oops. That's what I used for 302. Okay. I did dump that other photo. That's the thing. It's it still looks a little underexposed. That's better. And this guy. Is that the same photo? Oh, I think I dumped hold on. I think I dumped that one. Yeah, I was super miserly in how I used to do photos. Anyway, just a better photo inside the dam without the pole in the way. And running. And I think we're just about to head off here. I'm not sure what I was what the point of the shot was, but I guess it's just a picture of the back porch. Unlike the EMD SWs seem to have a bigger back porch. At least that SW1 out by Chambersburg Cold Storage certainly did. All right, that's second string done. Now next up we head out on the road so we can get some stuff of Enola. This is way earlier in the Morrisville yard construction process too, or for the NJT yard. Anybody else around? All right, no one else is here. So the question is, what crossing is that? Is there a second track? I didn't see one. No, there's a curve to the other way. There it is. That's the one. That is the Newbold Road crossing. It'd probably be good if I opened up that. Don't need that one anymore. But let me open up that other Penn Warner set of photos to see how I handled the naming on that. Here we go. Huh. So here we have our conductor flagging the crossing there. Notice no active warning devices, so they flag it. I'm not sure they have to, but at least they did. This was, I don't even know if I'm gonna, if I had photos with this. Flagging. Oh, that's hydrogen peroxide transloading. Yep. And that would be located Not sure they're doing anything with. Well, let's go and try to see where that would be. That would have been in there. It looks like. Or would it have been? It's probably right there. Yeah. They just brought them in a different way. Looks like today they're on that side. At that point they're on that side. Oh, yeah, there's some H2O2 tanks. So, yeah, this is a hydrogen peroxide facility. You can see, I have no idea what concentration that is. With hydrogen peroxide, it's all a matter of the concentration. The 3% will disinfect your hands. 80% will dissolve them and or set them on fire. So, there you go. This is another one of the photos that I cut back in the day. You know what I can do there? I should put in the numbers. What is that? GATX 70912. What's that other one? FMLX 17036. What is that? FMLX. And then this is just the end of the GATX 61335. Okay. Six 1 3 3 5. Figuring out how to name junk in an industrial park is kind of challenging. And here we have. Now again, I'm not sure what they had to do today. I think the only thing we did was we rolled out and then we did some maintenance. And you'll see that in a second. But here we had, there was, we didn't go out onto NS, but that's where the NS, that's where the interchange takes place. I think we usually, let's cut to the overhead here. So there's your H2O2 customer, comes out past that car scrapping facility through the woods, and there's the switch onto NS. Now I think that we came out on that last time, because I'm just not sure what that track there is. What is that? Okay, that is an interchange track there. So that's where they dump the cars for interchange. Then SMS, that's SMS can use, this is not property change. SMS can use that switch. They will come out and they do the interchange work there. And there's the locked switch onto NS. And then we have a high car detector, etc., etc. So let's see what I called this back in the day. Nothing I want to use right now. So UCLX 16276. UCLX 16276. Hey, and here we have some bonus. Here we have some fun material. Looking across the under construction Morrisville yard with your Pennsylvania Railroad catenary up there, we have some what looks like some interesting NS power. Let's see what we got. Oh, can I see it? We have a C40-8, no W, number looks like 8206. A SD60 and a Conrail C40-8W. No number visible on the other two because I wasn't looking carefully enough. So it's 8206. Plus the start of Morrisville Yard. So it's a pretty neat picture there. And we got some, like, I love that beautiful copper color. You can't really see it, that beautiful copper color on the old 136 kV lines. I wonder if those are still up. You can sort of see. I bet those got butchered, but I am not entirely sure. Oh, they might be still up. I don't know. Huh. I bet a street view shot would let me know if those are still up. So let's see, what do we see here? Oops, that's not what the one. Nah, that's pretty. It's pretty. That looks like it's in the Looks like it's like right around there. Come on. Let's check Street View and call it a day. I just want to see if NS axed those or not. Oh, they're still there. Look at that. Cool. I don't know where they get terminated. They get terminated somewhere. Probably, yeah, whatever. But cool. That's good to know. Shit. Anywho, let's see what we got going on here. So, just got to name this 8206 plus I don't know what their SD70s, what their roster used to be, what the roster slots in those SD70s were. It was something like 60, somewhere in the 6,000s, 6,800s, I think. I can check that. Oh, it's going to be tough. $68. I'll just cheat and not name and not number them. Oh, here we go. There's some numbers: 6788 and 8338. God, that's annoying. Six, 7, 8, 8, 8, 3, 8, 8. Sorry, 8338. 60. I'm gonna need to redo that one. Doesn't happen often, but I'm gonna need to quick redo that. Where is this? No, 80. So the reason I want to redo this is because I didn't notice that my second shot was better as a zoom. So I'm going to use this as the wide shot of the Morrisville yard. And give it an NJT label. And then I will add it to 8209, 8338. And then on this one, I'll tighten that up. As best I can. There we go, and then I'll just save this over the previous one. And, yep, there we go. Perfect. All three locomotives that are no longer on NS. And a Conrail paint job to boot. Here we have, of course, the Morrisville yard. You have the old hump yard office down there. And the Morrisville line in the foreground. I think I can cut a little bit off that to reduce the height. Let me just check if that's the if that's the Fairless branch or the Morrisville line. Looks like the Morrisville line. Morrisville line comes in on this side. Okay, that's Morrisville line. And here we have the newer Jersey Transit Morrisville Yard office, or crew base, whatever you want to call it. I really missed the Trenton Shuffle. That was always a fun thing to watch. If you don't know how, for anyone who doesn't know their New Jersey Transit Northeast Corridor line operations, now trains come in and just roll out across the Morrisville Bridge into Morrisville Yard, which has a whole bunch of tracks, crew facilities, everything. They used to have to sort of wedge themselves in and around the Trenton station. So your train would like stop and it would go somewhere, and then you'd be sitting there at like 6 p.m. maybe on a cold winter night, and just light engine like deadhead moves would just be shuffling all over the place trying to get the equipment stuffed into all these little tracks that they had all over the place. Now there used to be a bunch of tracks railroad east of the station, and now only SEPTA uses, a couple SEPTAs use those. It's kind of anticlimactic. And not sure what I took this picture for. Kind of junky. I guess it's just this is kind of pointless. I'm just gonna dump that one. Alright, on to our last couple. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope you're enjoying it. This is definitely one of the best pictures I took that day of number 302, sort of this front quarter shot. I think that I got that one onto railpictures.net back in the day. Again, their standards were lower. Nice head-on view. Love that trash bag look. And the last one we got is this sort of reverse. Wish I had video of all of this sort of thing going around. Oh wait, no, I got one more set of photos. We're not almost done. I got one more set after this. So what we did was, after we went up to the yard lead there, I'll show you in the map in just a second. Let me just finish renaming this. So what we did was, we ran around this sort of back track zone because there are some customers back there, and it was actually right next to the NEC. It was through the trees. There was a creek in the way, so you couldn't really pop over. They just ran out there to do some switch maintenance. I forget which one it was. It might have been that one there, or could have been that one there. But it was just sort of like, they didn't really have much to do that day, but they wanted to take us for a little ride, so we went on this sort of back lot segment. And I'll show you that in just a second. Our last set. But before I put that up, we'll see if anyone's around. I guess no one else is around. And there's some maintenance for you. Let's see what I would have called that. Oh, don't know who the conductor is, but All right. Anyway, oops. So yeah, the ties were not in the greatest shape, but here we have the conductor. Don't remember the conductor's name, but he was just going out there with a spike hammer. I'll tell you, those are that's a skill to be able to use one of those, because you're hitting this thing with like maybe a 1-inch or less square head with a smaller hammer, like a giant tack hammer with a full swing. And I mean, the people who know how to do that, you can note the need for some track work. Zoom in here. I think there were ties there at one point. I'm not gonna crop this. I'm just gonna leave it. I don't think they're not really reinstalling that switch, but let me see if I can find out where this was. Who knows? Maybe they put it back in or something. And that's there. Cause I was sworn we went all the way around. It might have been that, and they just restored it. That's the only place that makes sense. At least they've put it back in, but that looks like where it was. I don't know if these were posed or not. I think he was legitimately doing it, but the lack of motion blur indicates that we might have these might have been posed. I highly suspect they were posed. One thing they were doing was adjusting the shims in the switch stand here. This makes sure that when you actually close it, that it's putting appropriate pressure on the single bar that keeps the train from derailing. I always forget how you spell maintenance. But they had a whole bunch of little shims and stuff they put in there. Hey, Bethlehem Steel, there you go. Is your Bethlehem Steel shout out. Yeah, when it says adjustable, I'm not kidding. The guy opened it up and adjusted it. The next time I went in 2005 was where we had a little bit more fun. So yeah, so the ride's over. We're back in the yard office. There's the blurry view of the yard desk. The second time I was back, it was more fun in that we were actually switching cars. And with like those chemical cars, like with hydrogen peroxide, when you have cars with liquid in them, that sloshes and you can feel it. We have a crew bunk. Not sure why that's necessary, but it's there. And last one is just the storing some insulation in the cabin. Hey, the brake gauge is still there. I think it's a cupola. Well, I think that's all we got today. That's it. And let's see what any questions? Like I said, well, that's it for everything. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you had fun. If you missed anything, I'll post it eventually back up on the site. I will be back again in 2 weeks. Most likely going to be a Sunday to Monday, just Sunday to Monday. I'm not sure about the Monday Tuesday, so I'll either do a 1 night or a 2 night, and that's going to be 2 weeks. If anyone cares, that's going to be the 23rd to 24th and or 24th to 25th of August. All right. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Have a great day. And I will be back. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing, but I'll find something good. I'm sort of starting to run out, but I got plenty more. When I extend to 2006, 2007. So, all right. Catch you next.